Gamers are wrong about Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. I'm the Godly Gamer. Welcome back to the channel. Today I just wanted to talk to you guys about the future of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero and how a lot of people said the game is dead, but I just don't think so. I kind of want to change your perspective if you think that as well. I want to talk about the truth of why people are wrong about Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, right? So something I hear people constantly talk about is whether arena fighters are competitive and does it take skill to get good at them. I feel that that question, comes from a perspective of ignorance more than anything, and that's not a bad thing. It just means, if you're ignorant, you can always learn. And if you are willing, you could possibly change your mind, right? So when we look at, are arena fighters fun? Are they competitive? Are they playable? Should we take them seriously? That is the argument that I see most people give for why Sparking Zero isn't fun, or why it shouldn't be played, or why it's trash, or whatever they're thinking. And so to see the future of Sparking Zero, we first have to understand what are arena fighters and how do they differ from traditional fighters, right? Let's go over the controls of traditional fighters first. And in games like Street Fighter 6, Mortal Kombat, Tekken, you have a limited number of attacks and you can combo with different buttons to link up attacks and do more damage. That's not too much there's not like too much movement besides jumping and footsies on a horizontal axis. You can grab, block by moving backwards most of the times in these games. There's infinite or touch of death combos. Basically, people can guarantee victory by doing these long combo strands, but there are ways around it, right? It's just hard. It's just hard. Traditional fighters can be really fun and frustrating, but you can get better at them with practice. On the other hand, we have arena fighters. Mostly anime games take this arena fighter approach. The first thing I hear people say about these is like that they're button mashers, which just means that you have to push one button really fast and a lot to win. Most of the time, to perform combos, you need one button in arena fighters, but that's just surface level gameplay, surface level combos. To perform complex combos in the game, you actually have a second button usually that you have to time in different patterns for a variety of different combos. Sometimes even with certain directional inputs to make a new combo. This already adds more level of complexity that most people don't even understand. In Sparky Zero, for example, most characters have 5 different combos just by pushing one button or so, right? But including extensions and stuff like that, you can add to those combos, and then it ends up being like 10 to 15 different combo routes you can do, all used for different scenarios, right? This is just the tip of the iceberg. There are also more defensive options, not just block, compared to traditional fighters, right? You can you can use this thing called perception in fighters in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, which interrupts combos, and you can vanish to instantly switch position. That makes the game extremely hard for first timers because the game is now 3D instead of 2D and has extremely fast movement options, right? So arena fighters have hella movement options, and that is the biggest thing that I see people struggle with when they say arena fighters suck or that they're just button mashers. What they mean to say is that the game's movement is too hard to keep up with. When you incorporate movement with combos and lots of defensive opportunities, and then on top of that add special moves and ultimates, which can take massive amounts of health in an instant, you can have an extremely fun and hard and frustrating fighting game, competitive as well. Arena fighters also do take skill to get good at. Just like traditional fighters, you need to practice, right? Just like any fighting game, there are spammy, cheap ways to play, but those will give you shallow wins. It doesn't take much skill. But when it truly comes down to is personal preference, you know what I mean? It's like if you like traditional fighters, there's nothing wrong with that. I grew up on traditional fighters and I loved them. I just found arena fighters to be more my style. They're more fun, and I don't spam. You can see it in my gameplay right now that I'm not just a spammy punk. I'm over here throwing hands. I'm stringing along combos. I'm using things at the right moments. And so that's just what it is. If you aren't good at arena fighters, just know that it's completely different style of gameplay. So you being bad doesn't mean the game sucks or isn't to be taken seriously. It just means it might take a little longer to get good. Movement versus combinations, that's the name of it. If you like movement mechanics and being tricky and unpredictable with your movement, having lots of defensive mechanics and having simple combos that require godlike timing, arena fighters are for you. But if you like to play footsies and mix up complex combos to leave your opponents guessing which fist and kick is coming next, and you like to perform long combos that devastate your enemies, then traditional fighters are more your speed. And that's okay. You know, enjoy what you want to enjoy and be peaceful. Both fighting game styles are extremely fun. I think the seriousness about Sparking Zero is like what I hate is that a lot of people hop on the hate bandwagon, right? And like the game has only been out for about it's basically been out for almost 3 months, and people were just already complaining in like barely at month two, the beginning of month two. And they were just like, man, this game sucks. They're not adding any balances. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. I'm tired of it. Da 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 da. But the game is not just extremely successful. All those people have at least 300 to 500 hours on the game. So they've actually played the game a lot in just a month time. So think about how fun a game has to be for you to get 300 to 500 hours. I have like 170 hours on the game. Think about how fun a game has to be for you to put in that much hours. And then for people to just turn around and complain and say this and say that. But all the things they complained about have been fixed with the recent updates that came out like a week or two ago. And so ultimately, I feel gamers are completely wrong about Dragon Ball Sparking Zero and about the future of it. The game has already reached a successful point. I think this game can be competitive. I do think that it's not meant to be competitive. I do think that there's characters that have stronger stats on purpose so the game could feel like Dragon Ball Z. It's supposed to just be fun, to be honest. But I do think that with certain rules in place and certain tournament conditions, I think this game can be extremely competitive. And I think it's really fun. I just think what was shown before these balance patches, it wasn't the best look on Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and it got a lot of people to kind of just hate on it. But I think if people would give this game one more chance, if you've played it before and you just like off of it for now, and I think if you would give it one more chance, you would see that the game has gotten a lot better. It's so much harder for people to be spammy. Ultimates come out slower now too, so when people are spamming ultimates, they actually can't spam it back to back, or it's easier to dodge it. And then certain things like Insta Spark can't be spammed back to back. After Image Strike can't be spammed back to back. Like this game is so different now, and I feel like skill is really showing. Like everybody that got by on super cheap tactics, they're getting smacked up. To be honest, before the patch, I'm not gonna lie, chat. I said chat like I'm live streaming. I'm not gonna lie. Before the patch, I was getting like a 52% win rate, because people were just being super cheap. I was stuck at B5 no matter what. After the patch, I'm not gonna lie. I'm on like B2 now. I got like an 80% win rate. And all it is just the change of people not being able to spam as much. I do still think perception is a little too strong. I think it should be there should be a little bit of a reward if you catch somebody spamming perception, and you're able to counter it. I think there should be some type of reward or some type of penalty for spamming it. Maybe take more key. Maybe animation takes longer to get out of, so people can get punished. Um, I don't think I don't think if you're holding perception, you should be able to block a grab. To be honest, I think that's kind of weird. But anyway, that's just a couple more things that I think need some work. But I think this game is so fun, man, and I'm gonna keep playing it. And I know real fans are playing it. It's just, yeah, again, like I said, I just think gamers are so wrong about games these days, and it shows. It shows like this game is like extremely fun, and people just hate on it for no reason. When in reality, there's not a reason to. You put in a lot of hours on the game. You played ranked. People rage quit it, and you were mad at it. But now it's like, trust me, the game is way 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 better. And I'm excited for the future of gaming and for the future of this game. I think more DLC is coming up. But yeah, I'll have to see you guys next time. I appreciate you guys for watching. Please hit the like, subscribe, and the notification bell. I would really appreciate it. Only 3% of you guys are really are subscribed that are watching. So, please hit that subscribe button. God bless you guys. Peace, 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 peace. Like, but it's like I was trying to hit him with a special too. But it's like the way he plays, It's like they instantly go to sparking, do a quick